Hi, Marianne. How are you?
Hi, Kelly. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good
All
to
right,
see you.
looks like we've got people hopping on. The weather's great today.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get outside this afternoon.
Yeah. Hi, Sally. All
Hi,
right.
Marianne. I was just going to call you today after the Zoom. You've been on my mind.
Oh, same here. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so I was like, you're on the top of my list. It's like I gotta call her.
Woohoo! Sounds like a good place to be.
Right? Who doesn't want to be on top of somebody else's list? I love that. Hi, Rick. Hi, Jessica. I see all of you popping on. Not everyone has their camera on, so I'm saying hi to the people that are right in front of me. You don't have to have your camera on, of course, only if you want to. Um, but it's always good to see people because we're still networking, right? Hi, Bob. Good to see you. Love seeing familiar faces and new faces. So we'll give everyone just a few minutes to hop on before we begin. We had quite a few people register, but when it comes to webinars, especially when it's free, there's about a 50% show up rate. So I don't always have huge expectations of everyone that registered, but it's actually really nice when people do show up. It's like, oh, hey, you stuck to your commitment. All right, so I see people are still hopping on. So while everyone's kind of, still registering, a few housekeeping items. I start all my Zoom calls off like this. If you do have your camera on, just remember that just because we can't or you can't see yourself doesn't mean that we can't see you. So don't do anything weird in front of your camera. I speak from experience. Okay. Yeah, Rick, of course. That's always a trigger for Rick D over there. So that's my housekeeping rule number one. Another thing I'll tell you is you have different ways of how you can view this presentation. So right at the top, if you kind of hover over in the top corner of your screen, there's a speaker view and then there's a gallery view, and you can toggle between them. So for me personally, I like to have the gallery view, which means I can see all of you at once, as opposed to the speaker view. The speaker view, you see the person that's speaking. If you want to be looking at my face the entire time, that is perfectly fine. I put my makeup on, I did my hair, but just giving you different options. Because for me, like I said, right now I'm looking at the gallery view so I can see all of you. It feels more, networking like. So, okay, so those are my few housekeeping items. Okay, so the third thing, I want everyone to get familiar with the chat. Just so with the chat, you can send me questions, but I will say when I'm in presentation mode, it's actually difficult for me to read the questions. So it's going to be, if you have a question as I'm going through something, it's going to be better if you actually unmute yourself and ask me the question. Okay, but otherwise I ask that you stay on mute, mainly because we have so many people on and we don't want any background noise. But I'm perfectly okay with you unmuting yourself to ask a question. Start with your name. Hi, this is Gelly. I have a question, just so I know who's talking to me, because again, when I'm in presentation mode, I can't see everyone. And but in the chat, this is how you can communicate between yourselves as well. So you'll see you can send a message to everyone, or you can send a message privately to somebody. So in order to get you practicing the chat, what I'd like to do is have you type in your name and tell us the name of your company or business. Okay, this is not a huge sales pitch. We don't need to know what you do. We just give us your name and the name of your company. Okay, so let's see what's coming through. Patty Ernest, okay, Bob Grossman, Pacific Advisors, Michael and Jacob, Ask My Gurus, Jess from Momentum Telecom, Guillermo, oh, okay, now you guys are good. You guys figured out, you're typing so fast I can't keep up with them anymore, but they're all coming through. Okay, so this is where the chat box is. I would encourage everyone to type something in there, because this is actually one of the ways I can take attendance. Otherwise, there's not really, the Zoom meeting version doesn't really give me who attended versus who registered. So it helps me follow up with people properly. And all of you know, follow up, follow up, follow up. So I want to follow up with everyone. So thank you for typing your names in, saying hello. All right, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and begin. We actually have a lot to cover today, and I definitely want to make room for some questions. So we're going to go ahead and begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we are going to go into presentation mode. So if you see me looking this way, it's because I've got two screens going on, and my presentation's on the right-hand side. Oops. Oh, give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry, I got stuck there for a second. Okay, here we go. Sharing my screen. All of you should now be seeing my PowerPoint presentation. Nod your head if you can see it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Just making sure. Okay, so the webinar, this is a free webinar. We're talking about what's working right now, networking and marketing during a crisis. I mean, we are in a full-blown crisis, right? I don't have to state the obvious. I will talk a little bit more to it, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. So again, I'm reminding why you're here. You're in the right place if you're trying to navigate this business landscape during this uncertain time and you're not sure where to look for proper guidance. There's honestly not a lot of guidance out there for small business owners right now. Believe me, I've Googled it. I have Googled it. I'm like, who is talking about what? And all the crisis communication stuff they're talking about is for large communications or large companies. You know, they're not really talking about what to do if you're a small business owner. So at least some part of your professional success depends on networking, right? But all face-to-face events are canceled. So what do we do? And again, I'm assuming that one of the main reasons you're part of my community is because you're into networking. The last point, everything has gone virtual and that's foreign to you. And even if it's not foreign to you, how do you communicate on LinkedIn, find prospects on Networking Phoenix? I mean, there's just, everything went into hyper mode right now. You know, if before we were doing it because it was like, oh, I know I should be doing it. Now this is really the only way you can do things. So here we are. So you're in the right place if this is what you need help with, okay? There are so many new faces and so many new names on the call. Very quickly, I'm going to give you a little introduction. My name is Gelly. That's me right there with my laptop, always with my laptop. Oh, says my internet connection is unstable. Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. Sorry, it popped up. So I am the founder of networkingphoenix.com. You're probably on this call because you're part of my community, which is all about networking. Typically, I host face-to-face networking events. I promote networking events. With my coaching and consulting business, which you can find more about on gelly.com if you're interested. I do work with clients one-on-one. I work with small business owners, with large corporations. It's all about relationship marketing. It's all about networking. And I do host group training sessions, certification type of stuff. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. But in essence, I'll give you like a quick nutshell of what I do. But this keeps me busy, like, 24/7. I'm lucky when I get good night's sleep. So that's a quick intro about me because I know not many of you, or some of you are new on the call. And here's what you're going to learn today. The psychology of our mindset during a crisis. And this is what I was talking about in all my emails. Our mental state has completely shifted. And I'm not saying everyone's freaking out, we're in a negative state, but during a crisis, especially a pandemic of this size, everyone's mind has shifted. So we need to address this before we address anything else. What to talk about right now because of this shift, and the one thing that you should absolutely not be doing. Okay, so those are the main points I hope to get across today. I will say that this is obviously not a presentation I teach often or ever, really. Or, this is the first time we're in a crisis. So if I'm a little choppy, it's because this is my first time compiling all this information for all of you like this. So you'll have to forgive me, which I'm sure all of you will. And I do want to encourage all of you to stay right till the end to get the most out of this webinar, because again, I've packed it in with things all the way through the very end. So before we dive into it, I do want to introduce the Ask My Gurus team. Michael's going to come on and speak for a little bit. So Michael, or Ask My Gurus, is sponsoring this webinar. As I said, this is a free webinar for everybody, for the community. And Ask My Gurus has actually been a sponsor of Networking Phoenix for quite some time now, probably close to a year, if not more. And so I wanted to bring him on because, again, this is one of the other ways that we as small businesses can keep supporting each other and keep promoting ourselves. So Michael, if you can please unmute yourself. Michael, are you there?
Yep, there you go. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, now we can hear you.
Just had to find the button. Sorry about that. Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Michael Migdal, and I'm here with my son, Jacob Migdal. We, together with our other son we own, AskMyGurus.com, to give you a little feedback on who we are and kind of how we got started. A little over a year ago, I was actually looking for a contractor, and I went on to one of our competitors' websites and wasn't able to find one that was licensed or reputable or one that would actually show up. And then I did realize the ones I would talk to were just from the bigger, larger companies where I wasn't able to work with anybody local within my community. So I was able to take the network that I have here across the valley and do a little bit of research and build today where we are essentially a lead generation for local professionals, where local professionals can work within organizations within their community, and where they can also go through and they can find community members can find other community members to work with, and businesses can work with other businesses within that community to work with as well. So for example, I live here in Mesa. If I look for a payroll company in Mesa, I can click on a payroll category and it can give me different payroll companies within the area. One of the big things that I wanted to do when building it is I wanted to keep it extremely inexpensive for the local professional. I don't allow the big companies to come on here. I don't allow it to get saturated with, 16 different farmer insurance agencies within a state. I keep it very individual so we can help each other build our networks. So what we've done is we've made it for only $200 for an entire year. You have full exposure within your company to be advertised here on the site. Some of the things that we are also doing now in conjunction with working with Gelly is you will start seeing our logo and our information on billboards along the I-10 here in Phoenix. We are also working with I-5 in California and then 95 in South Florida. So we are starting to expand out nationally, which is definitely great. We are averaging a little bit over 1,000 unique visitors a day with very, very little marketing. So the word of mouth is growing. We're definitely seeing leads coming in, and we're seeing sales happen as well. So we're really excited to show this to you guys. And if you have any interest, please feel free to reach out to myself or Gelly after the fact. And we're happy to talk more about it with you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for hopping on, and I love to hear all the success that you just mentioned right there. That's incredible. I was there right at the very beginning when the site got launched, so it's always a pleasure, like truly a pleasure to see a fellow entrepreneur's business grow. And Michael's a serial entrepreneur, by the way, like the definition of serial entrepreneur. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for that. So getting back to our presentation. So here's where I want to start today. There are some of you on this call that know my story, and some on the call don't know my story. I think what's so important for me to revisit right now, that's a part of my story, is that when I first launched Networking Phoenix, it was January 1st, 2008, during the 2008 economic crisis. Okay, I launched my business when everybody else was getting laid off, getting fired. I mean, you all know what happened in 2008, right? Like, I don't have to go into details. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a complete accident. So how did that happen? I'll tell you. So very quickly, I'll tell you, okay? I had this quote unquote cushy corporate job. And it was during that time that I it was my second job out of college, and I realized that this whole having a job thing was killing my soul. Like, I was literally depressed at a very young age, and I didn't know why I was depressed. Turns out I have this disease called entrepreneurship. Okay, so I don't know if anybody can relate, but I was an entrepreneur and I didn't know it. So I was stuck at this corporate job, getting this, really hefty paycheck for being the age that I was, and doing exactly what I went to school for, by the way. I went communications, and I was doing internal employee communications for JP Morgan. So my manager at the time, this is like 2007, December of 2007, she pulls me into her office and she says something, yada, 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 we need you here for more hours, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, they need me here for more hours? I was already done. Like, mentally, I was checked out. I was already working on Networking Phoenix as a concept behind the scenes. Oh, and if you're wondering, how did I even come up with this concept? That's the first question. How did you come up with this? Well, because I hated the job I was just telling you about. I was out networking to discover other opportunities and realized I am freakishly in love with networking. Like, you put me in a room full of strangers and my endorphins are off the chart. Okay, don't put me in a room full of strangers right now. I will freak out like everyone else. But under normal circumstances, my endorphins are off the charts. I want to connect with people. I want to talk to people. And here's the kicker. I thought everybody was like me. I thought everybody loved networking and everyone loved talking to strangers and finding out people's stories and really connecting. And boy, was I wrong. Okay, that is not the case. There are a few of us, but that's not the case. So I kept networking, and I kept, I would write down all the different networking events, like in a Word document, right? It was copy, paste in a Word document. And everybody kept asking me for this document. They're like, Kelly, you know everyone, you're all these at events, send me this, send me that. At the time, I was married to a software engineer. And I came home one evening after an event, and I'm like, hey, can you build me a website with a calendar on it so I can list all the different networking events? He says, sure, no problem. Him being the brilliant software engineer that he is, right, to give him credit where credit's due, he took my idea, my concept, and built, like 12 years ago, he built a community platform, an event-centric community platform. If I tell you this in 2020, you should understand what I'm saying. 12 years ago, that was like an alien concept. It was like as if I told you, oh yes, aliens are flying around. It's like, what is it, community? What is this girl talking about? I could not explain to people what I was building. But intuitively, I knew that this is the way we needed to go. So Networking Phoenix, as all of you know, revolves around this calendar, which lists all the different networking events in town. Again, now of the crisis, things are a little different, although a lot of events have gone virtual. So now we're listing virtual events around town. And you, as an entrepreneur or solopreneur or business, in sales, marketing, whatever, you come to the website because of the events. You create your free profile. All of you should have a free profile. If you don't, you are missing out. Our website's SEO is super high. So you are missing out on not filling out your free profile. Okay. Step number one, as soon as we get off the call, fill out your profile. People will find you. They will Google your name and you'll come up number one, or they'll search something, a keyword, and your profile will pop up. That's how SEO works. So, you create your free profile, and then I host events, I promote events, I do educational webinars, seminars, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's how it is. But before all of that happened, let me get back to the story of how I accidentally quit. So I'm sitting in the office with my manager, who just told me I needed to put in more hours. I open up my mouth to say, I don't know what, and I say, well, then I put my 3 weeks in. And we both went. We literally just looked. She's like, what? I'm like, what? She's like, Gelly, where did that just come from? Are you sure? And I'm like, if I said that, then it's true. Like the words literally fell out of my mouth. Like there was nothing else. I'm like, no, I mean it. I'm done. I'm out. Bye. 3 weeks. So come January 1st, we launched networkingphoenix.com. Come January 1st, the economy crashes. Boom. Here I am. I'm like, what do I do now? Well, I don't know. I keep doing what I set out to do. What I learned from 2008 was that my business was actually so needed at the time. It was like literally divinely, like designed. I had no idea that I was 27. I had no idea the economy was going to crash. People needed people. People needed to be out. Everybody was getting laid off. It was complete crisis. It was complete chaos. We needed to communicate about it. We needed to talk about it. We needed to see other people. We needed to empathize with other people. My business skyrocketed overnight because it was more than networking. It was networking, but it was more than that in a crisis situation. Okay, so that's a lot of what I'm trying to kind of talk about. You'll see this will be a theme throughout the entire webinar, but so many people are like, well, there's no events, I'm just going to stop networking. That's like the worst thing you can do right now. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. I want to show you, these are a few images from my very first event. Okay, so here's 27-year-old Gelly. Okay, right here, if you can see this. Oops, this picture is taking up on it. Here's 27-year-old Gelly. So what happened was, this was my very, very first event. And I asked my mom to do registration for me because I'm like, oh, maybe 100 people will, maybe. I had like maybe 1,000 people on my list at that time. I sent out 4 emails, not even, I was scared of sending out emails. So I sent 4 and I felt like so much. We got space at the Monte Lucia because that was one of the brand new resorts that opened up. They gave me the free space by the pool. My mom was working registration with her 2 business partners. Come event time, over 600 people showed up. It was unreal. This was the biggest event Phoenix had ever seen. I freaked out. I had no idea what to do. I ran up to the front and you see me, this is me greeting people as they're walking in. Do you see like this picture right here? Do you see this is the line? This line was around the building. 600 people trying to get through one gate with 3 people doing registration. It was unbelievable. This was my first time speaking on the microphone to such a large crowd. You can't see it here, but I was shaking. I like, what just happened? I had no idea. This was an accident. But after this event, I said to myself, well, if I created this by accident, what can I do on purpose? Right? What can I do on purpose? And after that, I kept having these events. And in 2010, again, when the economy was, we had 2,000 people attending my events. 2,000 people, and I know some of you were there. Not all of you were there, but some of you were at those events, and they were not. Nobody needs 2,000 people at a networking event. But that should tell you the state of the economy and what my company did for the community, because it was all about bringing people together, allowing people to have conversations. Same theme right now. Now, of course, we can't be in a room with 2,000 people or 10 or 50, but we can still network and we can still communicate. Okay, so that's how I want to set up the picture for you. That's what so much matters about my story. So let's talk. So Networking Phoenix, I already told you about it. All of you should be familiar, right? But essentially what we are today, community of local professionals interested in building their network. We have over 43,000 members. Again, business owners, entrepreneurs, marketing, sales professionals, really anybody that should be networking, okay? So that's the background, that's the foundation. Let's talk about what's working right now, because this crisis obviously is a little bit different than the 2008 crisis, but so many of the elements are still the same. So like I said, the first thing we have to look at is the psychology of a crisis. Because if, oh, you know what I just realized? I want to make sure this is being recorded. Oh, this is being recorded. Okay. All of a sudden my heart jumped, just skipped a beat. I'm like, am I recording this? Yes. Okay. Getting back to the psychology of a crisis. So in a crisis, people take in information, they process information, and they act on information differently than they would during a non-crisis times. Now, I'm sure intuitively all of you are seeing this, but this is so important to point out because, again, because none of us are really trained in a crisis situation, we're always kind of like a little bit behind the shift, right? But as business owners, we always, it's like a chess game. We've got to be strategic. We have to be a few steps ahead. So having said that, having said this, this is why I want to talk about the psychology, right? So the second bullet point is they may revert, people may revert to more basic or instinctive fight or flight reasoning. The key word here is basic or instinctive. So if any of you have been in any of my webinars or Zoom calls in the last few weeks, you keep hearing me saying this over and over. Everyone is a little bit more human right now. That's my layman terms of the best I could come up with. We've gone back to our basic and our instinctive the biology. All right, so what does that mean? That means, again, we're processing things differently. We need to see things differently. We need to see, we need to hear. Our mind wants information right now. And things have completely shifted, right? And then again, during a disaster.
Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly? I have to interrupt because it looks as though Zoom is kind of taken over the screen and we're not seeing your PowerPoint.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Laurel. Okay, let me try again. What happened here? Can we see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like I said, feel free to unmute yourselves if something's going on, because I'm okay. I'm juggling 2 screens. Thank you so much.
Why don't you go back 1 slide or so? I don't know how far you went.
This is the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. I'm still on this one. This is the one that was before. Absolutely. Yeah. All good. Conversations are good. So psychology of a crisis. Again, this is just what we're looking at is, so if you didn't have a chance to read it, here it is. But basically in a crisis, again, people take in information, process information, and act on information differently. That's the main thing to know about the crisis. And again, basic or instinctive fight or flight reasoning. We're processing things differently. We're thinking differently. We're acting differently. And like I said, we've become more human. Okay, so during a disaster, people may experience, again, a wide range of emotions. And just, you don't think I'm making this up. I got this from a government, like emergency CDC government report file, right? I mean, I went, because for me, I've been putting my own words to it, and I'm like, I don't want to put my own words to it. I'm actually going to get scientific information. Okay, so again, we all know this intuitively, but this is just the stat behind it, or the science behind it. So the important thing right now for you to know, people need to hear from you, right? Because some of the things you might be thinking, oh, everyone's talking about Corona. Should I talk about Corona? Should I add more to it? I don't want to add to the hype. I don't want to add to the fear. Should I say something? Should I not say something? Some people are completely paralyzed when it comes to how do I conduct business right now? I'm seeing posts on Facebook of family members dying. How do I go on with doing business? Like, a lot of us are paralyzed and frozen in our own way. So, but people still need to hear from you. You still need to talk to your community, all right? And some of you are thinking, okay, I don't have a community. Yes, you do. Every single one of us has a community. Your community, these are your clients. Everyone you've ever met networking, if they are on your email list or you're connected with them through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is the up and coming one right now. So many people are now on TikTok because they're sitting at home bored. But this is your community, and they need and want to hear from you, right? So as the leader of your own community, staying silent is a message, and it may not be the one that you want to send. Okay, so now is not the time to be silent. Now is not the time to hide. Do you remember how I was saying in that 2008 crisis, like people were coming out to these events, like it was like that's all they could possibly do to get out of the house and to have conversations. Well, now we can't even get out of the house, but people need conversations, right? So that's why you don't want to stay silent. All your pieces of communication need to have empathy, regardless of your opinion, whether you think this is a political thing or it's being out of hype or whatever. You've got to have empathy for people, because certain people are actually being very personally affected by this. So this is not the time to, like spew your opinions that may offend others, because people will remember everything you say. We are hypersensitive right now, hyper aware. Everything's in hyper mode. one thing that you say that may offend somebody, they will remember forever. On the opposite spectrum, if you say something to be somebody's hero right now, they will remember forever. Okay, which leads me into the next slide, relationship marketing. This is how you should be conducting all your business right now. This is how you should be conducting your marketing right now. Relationship marketing. Okay, what do I mean by that? Be human. Be human. Okay, so these are two of my Facebook posts from not that long ago. Okay, here's this one. I'm just being silly. Or actually, I'm being very serious. Can someone verify? Heard that chocolate is calorie-free during Corona. Just hoping for some proof. Okay, this has nothing to do with my business. It has everything to do with me being human, with me not being able to put the chocolate candy bars down, you know, has everything to do with relating, having empathy, getting people engaged, allowing for conversations. You'll see it got 90 likes, 54 comments, 2 shares. Somebody shared my silliness. I mean, is this going to make me money? I don't know. I didn't pose this for it to make me money. This is part of my relationship marketing. Could very well make me money. Somebody could be like, man, you know, I want to keep engaging with Gelly. I mean, this is how things work all the time. Again, this is my business. Even before the crisis, my marketing strategy is always relationship marketing. And all of you have seen, well, not all, but those of you that have been following me from the beginning that started at that event in 2009, that very first event I showed you a photo of, you've seen my philosophy. Everything I do is relationship marketing. And I talk and teach about how to create that authentic connection that'll last a long time. 12 years is a long time, right? So this was one. Here's another one. This was my 7-year-old. And if you see her in the background, by the way, she's home. So she might be coming out to grab some lunch from the kitchen in a little bit. But I taught her how to ride her bike. It was last weekend, I think. It was so much fun. So exciting, right? So 107 likes, 33 comments. I will tell you, when I post about my business, I do not get this kind of response. I'm lucky if I get 1 like. Okay, so talking about your business is really not that exciting to people. Talking about being human is very exciting to people. So again, so much right now, even more crucial during this crisis, be human. So you see, I'm talking about my life. You take this analogy into your life. What can you talk about that would represent whatever's going on with you? Okay, here's another example of a LinkedIn post I saw that I thought was phenomenal, and I responded to it immediately. This guy, Josh, let's read it. I'm asking for help from my LinkedIn community. In this time of in-person isolation, I believe it is important to step up your online presence to create more digital dialogue. Building, strengthening personal relationships doesn't have to be face-to-face. I mean, nailed it. There was no way I was not going to engage with this because he said it so well. One thing I have not yet adapted is the use of a personal hashtag on social media. In an effort to spark conversation, I am posing 2 questions and also asking for feedback from those who have had success. 1, how do you best use your personal hashtag to increase awareness of your brand? 2, what is something that is unique and would stand out about my post? Like many of you, I want to build a community of individuals who share best ideas and help improve thought leadership. I mean, he just nailed it with every single thing he posted right there. I would say, literally, like, this is a phenomenal template if you want to post something similar, right? Because here he's talking about, he's addressing that we are in a crisis. In this time of in-person isolation, it is important to step up your online presence, 100%. For those of you that have not done any of my LinkedIn trainings in the last few weeks, or for those of you that think your LinkedIn is still your resume to the world, you're living in the dark ages. Your LinkedIn is not your resume to the world. Okay, your LinkedIn is now your personal landing page. And if that's a mystery to you of what that is, then we've got to engage on some level. So he goes on, you know, he gives you some options, and then he tagged some people in here. And I was actually one of the people that he tagged. And then he says, please share your thoughts below. So he got 12 likes, 19 comments, all right? And I don't know how big Josh's, you know, connections are. I don't know if he's got many or not, you know, but this was a very engaging post. So I showed you some personal stuff on my Facebook, and this was a great way to start a digital conversation on LinkedIn. All right, on the next slide, I'm going to show you, if you want to, let's look at Thomas's. He's the CEO of Nextiva, which is a large company, but they are based here locally. Small business, big impact. How often did we hear people say SMBs are the lifeblood of our economy? Did we really mean it? Deep down, some consider SMBs to be unsophisticated. It is simply wrong. Entrepreneurs and small business owners are some of the smartest people on the planet with survival skills that many of us can learn from. Yes, 100%. When SMBs were asked to go home, our economy paused and our unemployment is through the roof. No doubt, SMBs are the lifeblood of our economy. Let's show them that we meant it. We can help SMBs to stay in business and to get back on their feet. If you have the means, then keep ordering your daily coffee from your local shop. Pay it forward by continuing to purchase products and services from your trusted local sources, even if you can't use them now. The best thing we can do for all of us is to help businesses to get back up. So he's stepping up as a leader. You can absolutely do the same thing. Step up as a leader for your community. And like I said, your community doesn't have to be like my large community of 40,000. It's your people, your clients, your potential clients, your everyone you're connected with on social media. And this is just a shared post. I loved this. Let's first read this post. This is small text, so I'll read it to you. It says right here, if you live in the Tucson area and have lost your job due to the coronavirus and need help providing food for yourself or your family, please stop by Sammy's Mexican Grill. We will be glad to provide you with a fresh, warm meal free of charge. God bless. It got 1.8 thousand shares, almost 2,000 shares, 195 comments, 1.8 thousand likes. And then this guy, Hank Marshall, he just shared it. And he said, a big shout out to Sammy's Mexican Grill in Tucson, Arizona proud, Arizona strong, Arizona together. So he's promoting this small business. I mean, this is engaging conversation. This is what I'm saying. Like this is part of the relationship marketing, even if this has nothing to do with Hank's business, right? And again, Hank, it doesn't look like he has a business. He works for the city of Phoenix. But, you know, if I were to share this out, this may have nothing to do with my business, but I'm starting conversations. I'm engaging people. I'm sharing the love. I'm promoting a small business. This is relationship marketing 100%. This is you talking. This is what you can say if you're not sure what to say. Go share a post. All right? Do not be paralyzed. So as a leader of your community, what is this all going to do for you? Builds credibility, branding, status, authority. All those things, right? Because right now, again, I'm going to remind you, we are in hyper alert. So if you don't say anything, that's saying something, and that may not be positive. If you share posts, if you engage people in conversation, people are going to see you as an authority. They're going to see you as a leader, which as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, or if you're in some kind of a sales position where, you know, you play in that area of being very entrepreneurial, you need to be seen as a leader, credible. And this is all part of your personal branding, which is huge. Okay. So that's where that comes in. So there's an interesting article going around the internet right now. I don't know how many of you seen it, from the Wall Street Journal. And it says, coronavirus brings business networking to a standstill. That's the headline. Okay. And this was a very interesting quote I pulled out from there. One indication of how networkers are adapting to the freeze on in-person meetings is an increase in activity on LinkedIn. Members' interactions with their professional connections, such as commenting on and resharing posts, jumped 55% in the week ended March 24th from the year earlier period, according to the site. 55%. So my question to you is to ask yourself, am I on LinkedIn? Am I using LinkedIn properly? Am I communicating on their profile? Is my profile set up to be my personal landing page, the way Gelly has been preaching for the last 2 to 3 weeks? Again, if you're not sure what that is, you've got to engage with me on some level, because if you're LinkedIn, like you've lost your luxury of, oh, maybe I'll update my LinkedIn. That's gone. It needs to be updated like a month ago. Other people are bouncing right off of it. The worst thing you can be doing right now, I've already mentioned it, but not networking. People need you. You need people. This is going beyond business interactions right now. Networking has actually never been about business interactions. That's secondary. Networking is about creating those human connections, authentic ones that then turn into clients, right? No one's going to connect with you because they have a pretty business card. Unless you're a graphic designer, right? Then you need to have a really pretty business card. But otherwise, people are connecting with you because of who you are as a human being, and vice versa. So let's talk about the why, okay? Why we need to keep networking. Use this time to get ahead of everyone else that doesn't get it. And are there people that don't get it? Absolutely. I've had a number of conversations in the last few weeks where people have either emailed me or called me and said, I'm not going to be networking anymore because all events have been canceled. And I literally want to yell at them through the phone and say, I'm not going to say what I want to say to them, but I'm like, what? No one has stopped networking. Yes, we've stopped attending events, but majority of the events have gone virtual. I've created a whole virtual line of events for people, right? Like I'm doing my Zoom. I mean, I'll tell you more on what I'm doing, but use this time to get ahead of the people that don't get it. And there are plenty of people that don't get it. They want to stay at home and do nothing. Let them stay at home and do nothing. That is not going to be you, okay? I mean, you're going to stay at home, but you're not going to not do nothing, okay? So number 2, grab your market share. It's open. It's an open market, right? Grab it. Do not fall into the fear mindset. Do not fall into the fear mindset. This will pass. There's like, we will survive this crisis. This will pass. Yes, it's a crappy time right now, but how you act now and how you set yourself up now is going to determine where you'll be once everything settles. I can't stress enough to you how crucial it is, especially right now, to have a really good grasp of the networking and how to connect with people and to be networking and to be communicating properly. It's even more crucial than when things are okay and normal, right? So the virtual opportunities that I've created, I've mentioned them, and I'm sure you've seen me promoting them, but I'm hosting Gelly's Virtual Connections Zoom meetings weekly or almost on a weekly basis. And the other groups have gone virtual. Networking Phoenix has over 40,000 profiles on it. Message people. It's free. Go to networkingphoenix.com. I'm not going to show you. This is not the webinar. I've already showed people how to do this. Go on there, find people, start messaging them. Start engaging and having conversations with people. You can do this on LinkedIn and Networking Phoenix, virtual groups, my Zoom weekly call. There's absolutely no reason for you to stop networking right now. So to talk about my virtual event, and I know many of you on this call have been to some of them, but many of you haven't. But I love this quote from Jean, and I don't know if Jean's on the call again because I can't really see all of you, but Jean said, Gelly, bravo on today's meeting. That is a format that is perfect for your Networking Phoenix members. I already have meetings scheduled with 2 ladies I was fortunate to speak on one-on-one with today. Keep it going. You're building an empire. So thank you, Jean, for that testimonial. And the way that my Zoom call works is that, first we all get together. I give you instructions, and then I tell you what conversation to have. I guide you through it, and then I actually put you into separate rooms. So I'm creating these introductions and connections for you. You are never going to get that anywhere else for such a low cost, like, right? I mean, like, this is not even something I do normally. And now this has been so successful, I might actually keep this line of virtual events. But my point is the opportunities are endless, okay? And Sally, I know Sally's on the call, because Sally, you're actually right in front of me. There's few people, and Mary Ann, I know you're on the call, and Mary Ann's right there. That's Sally right there. And I'm so sorry if anyone else from this picture's on the call. I can't see all of you. Oh, Rick D, that's Rick D, he's on the call. Bob, I know you're on the call, but I'm not sure. I think that's you. So, and I love Sally's quote as well. You know, hi, Gelly, this was the most fun I've had in ages. Loved all the incredible testimonials for you in the video. Thanks so much for adding all the new great things to attend this week. I think you single-handedly will keep everyone happy and grow the economy. That is a tall order, Miss Sally. So I love that feedback. And Sally's actually trying to help me get an article in the Business Journal about this particular networking feature that I'm doing. So we'll see what happens with that. But Sally is in public relations. So again, I'm just telling you, the opportunities are real and they're there, and people are absolutely benefiting from them. And if they weren't, they wouldn't be on that call and this call and rejoining the calls, okay? So for all of you that are my non-networking passport members, I have something special for you. So again, stick with me till the very end. Okay, so let's recap what we've talked about, all right? Number one, keep communicating. Personal emails to people in your network, right? Literally, who haven't I touched base with in a while? Let me write them a personal email. Send them a personal text, something. Keep the communication going. Mass emails to your community. I don't know how many of you on this call right now actually do mass emailing and messages, but now's not the time to not communicate. Again, and the message that you craft has to be empathetic, and it's got to speak to from the relationship marketing perspective. I know that was a lot of kind of like abstract things right there, but I'm trying to recap of all the things we've already said. Social media posts matter. Okay, if you have not been a fan of social media, or you're like, Facebook is a joke or whatever, blah, 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 social media posts matter. People can't sleep at night. They get on their phone and they scroll and they look and they read, and they need to consume content, and they want to hear from their friends. They want to hear from their connections. They want to know that chocolate is calorie-free during this crisis. That's what people want to know right now. All right. We're connecting on that human level. Okay. Keep networking. My Zoom calls, other networking organizations, virtual events. Like I said, reach out to people on LinkedIn and via Networking Phoenix, okay? Now, I know I've said a lot on this call. I try to keep the message clear, concise, to give everyone some tangible tools, but I will tell you, you don't actually have to do all of this alone, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tell you, hopefully you don't mind, and again, I hope you stay till the end with me, because I've got, this is jam-packed with information till the very end. But I'm going to talk to you about the 8-week certification course I have coming up. However, the way I've broken it down is that each 8-week is a topic, and I'm going to talk about that topic, and again, why it's relevant and important. All right. So it's still educational. This is not turned into, now I'm going to sell you and stuff. It's not even my style. I'm like my own worst salesperson. But the reality is you don't have to do this alone, all right? So here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you've never filled out an avatar worksheet, I don't know how you're communicating with people, okay? Because your avatar is so important, and your avatar is your potential client. All of you have a number of avatars. You have different types of clients, you have referral partners. The avatar sheet tells you how to speak to them, literally speak the words that you use, because when you meet somebody at a networking event, whether it's face-to-face or now virtual, you're going to be qualifying them for what avatar they are to know what to say to them. So if you've never done this, you're missing out, okay? Number two, if you don't know how to search and find the right events, again, or now it's events, it's how do I find people online, can help you with that. If your conversations are not converting, even before the whole crisis happened, I can help you with that. If you're not nurturing all your new connections and turning them into relationships and then paying clients, again, what are you networking for? If you haven't quite cracked the networking code, or if you'd like to build a really solid foundation to last you a long time, then again, this is exactly what my 8-week networking certification is for. Guys, I'm not on here teaching you where to put your name tag, okay? Like, this is not basic stuff. I'm teaching you the psychology of how to connect with people now and forever, and like forever going forward, and to connect. And why this is so crucial right now is because everyone's on hyper alert. Everyone's watching you. Now is the time to create those bonds that will last well way into the future. Okay, so if you're looking to navigate business relationships during a crisis confidently, now's the time. So again, I'm sure most of you have read this, and I just spoke to the slide. So let's look at them at a glance. And again, I'm breaking this down in content that you need. Whether you engage with me or not, you need to know this content. Number one, this is week 1. We get to know everyone else in the group because these people will become your networking buddies along the way, okay? We will also experientially learn the template conversation to have with anyone in order to authentically connect. Now, if you've been on my Zoom calls, or if you've actually had a chance to do this with me in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There is an actual template, which is always on my desk, by the way. It's right, you know, an actual template of the elements you need to have in any conversation in order to connect. And even if you've done this before, you need to practice, because you can't walk into an event with a piece of paper, all right, and go through the elements. You need to weave them into the natural conversation, right? So that's week 1. Week 2, arguably the most important lesson of the session, defining your customer avatar. I cannot speak enough to how important your customer avatar is. And if you try to do this alone, great, maybe you got it, but maybe in my experience, I give this sheet to people and they're like, here, you know, they're like, kids, I did it. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, we need to like really dissect this, because there's so much psychology that goes behind this avatar. So that's what the avatar is, okay? Week 3, we go into a very powerful presentation on how to be the most memorable person in the room, as well as networking etiquette, discussion and all the latest research of how our minds work, what we resonate with the most, and how to use all these tools when meeting strangers. Again, people are like, oh, networking, it's a luxury, it's a soft skill, there's scientific proof on how we connect, why we connect, and why people will spend money with you. Okay, and this is what we talk about. Again, followed by discussion how to find the events you should be attending. This is based on who your target is, which is your avatar. You know, we'll go over how to find events and network in Phoenix again as well. This is just a lot of conversation. Where do we connect with people? All right, week 4. Again, so important. How to structure proper follow-up emails. Do you know how to structure your follow-up emails? There's a sequence. There's the actual like template of how you write the email, starting from the subject line, the greeting, all the way down to the PS. I mean, a lot of people know how to write. I mean, we all know how to type words together, but there's a complete structure to how to write these emails in order to get people to engage, respond, and actually want to have a conversation with you or meet with you. Like, what is the action you're trying to get them to take? Week 5 is a continuation of week 4's topic because it's such a large topic. And what I do on week 5 is actually put people in hot seats and we dissect your emails. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because, again, I speak from experience. You know, people think they know how to write an email. And then when we dissect it, it's like, oh, I see why no one's responding to me. Well, now that makes sense, you know? So that's what week 4 is. You actually get hands-on experience. That was week 5. Week 6, LinkedIn. You saw the stats. It's up 55%. Everyone is on LinkedIn right now. Are you on there? Are you using it properly? Before you even use it properly, is your profile set up to be your personal landing page? There's a complete science to that as well. Okay, so we go through that. And again, mind you, all of this is done in such like, with the current crisis in mind, right? So everything we do, we're focusing on the now, and then how is this going to play out in the future? Okay, in week 7, how to properly communicate with your connections via mass email platforms like MailChimp in order to establish, deepen relationships and generate new business. This is where you make your money. This is where you send out, and if you've built out everything properly, you have the right foundation, you have the right sequence, you're saying the right things to people, you send out an email and they buy. This is where you make your money. Okay. This part, we also spend 2 weeks on it because again, it's a big topic. It's a big topic. We do some hands-on. It's not just me talking, you know, we put our hands to it, we work on it. So, so that's week 8. Okay, so there you go. So that's the entire educational format. So I will send all of you, you know, I'll send you all the link, but obviously the format is all online because we're all online right now. These are the dates. We kick off next Wednesday. The most important thing you need to know is that it's on Wednesdays from 12 to 1:30, which is the exact time of you know, where we're on right now. And it's 8 weeks starting next Wednesday, April 15th. Okay, that's the most important thing you need to know from this slide. Also, please note, should our state resume the ability to hold in-person events during this 8-week session, which I don't know that it will, but a little side note, then there will be some in-person networking opportunities, okay? So just, again, I don't know where we'll be, none of us know, but let's just assume it's all virtual for now. Okay, so, and I wanna share some testimonials, you know, because again, people, you need testimonials because it's one thing I sit here and tell you, it's another thing when this transforms people's lives and they actually walk away with business. Okay, so this is Chanel. Gelly's exercise for us the second week was to create an avatar from who you are trying to attract. Again, I cannot stress how important this avatar is. We submitted them to her and she gave us feedback. The feedback I received opened my eyes on many levels. I listed I was looking at corporate and entrepreneurs, like people. Gelly's feedback made me realize that these are 2 completely different worlds. The knowing of hers, this knowing of hers changed the way I viewed my potential audience. This was just the beginning. You know, so again, you can sit here, you can brainstorm by yourself. Okay, all of you I'm sure have done that, or you can brainstorm with other people. You see the difference when you're working on something by yourself versus when you're with your peers and you're with other people and we're all helping and guiding. So that was just one of Chanel's epiphanies. The program is for the solopreneur that is at the beginning of their journey to well on their way in their journey. I've had people in the class that have been in business for 20 years, right? Because you could be very good at what you do. But again, what I'm teaching is the networking piece of it, the marketing piece of it, and the psychology piece of it, which is very different than you place your name tag right here. Like, where do you place your, it's right here, by the way, on the right side. That's where you place your name tag. There's no name tag police, so it's okay. And Chanel has already gotten 2 new clients before the program was over. I had another woman, you know, in the 8 week as well, who had 2 new clients by her 3rd week. And some of the people in the group were doing business together because you're networking as well. I mean, it's a networking group, right? So that was Chanel. And I don't know if she's on the call. And here's Bob. I'm pretty sure Bob's on the call, though I can't see him. And I love Bob's testimonial. Simply, Gelly gets it. She helps entrepreneurs because she is one and lives in our world every day. From a marketing and communication standpoint, her training is unique because everything you learn, you use on a regular basis. She just helps you do it better and more effectively. I highly recommend her training and networking groups. Time and money well spent. Thank you, Bob. And I've, you know, as Bob will tell you, I did not know Bob before he joined the group. And now we know each other. I mean, we've gotten to know each other over the last 2 months, you know, and for me, when people ask for referrals, I can't refer you if I don't know you. I have to know you in order for me to actually be able to make connections for you, right? And that's one of the other benefits is we get to know each other and the possibilities are endless from there, right? So, you know, then we talk about it was okay, well, why did people even join? You know, does this resonate with you, right? So these are just some of the things. I have more on the site, but you know, somebody says, I always knew networking was a valuable tool and I want to feel good at it. The struggle is finding the value in networking to know how to be a good networker. I have a lot of trouble with sitting down and talking to people for no reason. I want to see the value. I want there to be a purpose. Okay, so if you resonate with that comment, I will show you the value of talking to people for no reason, because then they will pay you if they connect with you properly, right? We're talking about human connections here. Here's this one. After doing a lot of networking and spending lots of money, I realized I was not getting quality things and much out of these events that I was going to. I realized that maybe I was not so good at it, and maybe the people that I was talking to were also not good at it. I never really heard of anyone teaching people how to network, so that's why I'm here. And this is such a common thing. This is why people hate going to networking events, because nobody knows how to network, and now you're both in a room looking at each other, trying to sell each other on your stuff. That's not called networking. That's really bad promoting and annoying the crap out of each other, right? I mean, that's not networking. Once you understand how to actually authentically connect with people and what to say with them, anyone that comes into your space and doesn't know how to network, you'll know how to flip the script. You'll put them on this template and have this conversation with them, and they're going to walk away thinking, I just met my new best friend. And then they're going to buy whatever you're selling, right? I mean, I'm shortening the sales process here, but essentially it's about knowing how to communicate. Okay, so this person, the reason why I'm here is because networking makes me nervous. I don't know what the next question is. What do I ask next? How do I follow up a question? What you do, Gelly, makes me nervous. I want to learn the networking skill. I want to make real relationships. I want to be able to make relationships and then figure out how to help each other on the business side of things. Okay, so again, if any of this resonates with you, all these people joined and all these people walked away with valuable insight. Okay, so what I'll tell you is that, and if you guys hear the microwave in the background, that's my 7-year-old making mac and cheese. I've taught her how to do that. Oh, you want to say hi? Say hi. This is a big class, baby. Okay, so I have to keep teaching. This is a little Eris for those of you that might not know Eris. But I have literally spent thousands of dollars over the years learning a lot of these tools, like especially the digital marketing tools, and creating curriculum around my networking skills. You know, again, as you know, I've been at this for 12 years. And while a lot of the stuff I knew naturally, when it comes to the marketing and the copywriting and the digital stuff, I've had to learn it. I've had to create templates. I've had to put processes to it. And as you've seen over the last few weeks, if you've been engaging with me, this is what I share with you. The processes, the documents, the formulas. You know, a lot of this isn't just me being a talking head. Like, I share tangible things you can use immediately. So there are 3 ways to participate. Oh, and by the way, this is, I don't know if Michael's still on the call, but this is the Ask My Gurus team. That's Michael right there. He's the one that was talking earlier. Like I said, they've been a sponsor of Networking Feedings for quite some time. And these are his kids. It's a family business. It's awesome. I know it's a small picture. But anyway, so there are 3 ways to participate, okay? So the most basic way, $297. It includes the 8-week certification course, the recorded sessions, and access to the private Facebook group. To know there's no one-on-one time with me with this one, you still get plenty out of it. Plenty, believe me, okay? But this is the most popular one because within this one, people want the one-on-one time. People enjoy the one-on-one time because as we go through the course, then they have questions and how does this apply to me? And can you look at my email? And can you look at this post? And can you look at my Instagram stories? I mean, all of that takes time, right? So I can't do that with here, but with the $600 option, we can do that. And then this is the $997 option, which is packed with all sorts of goodies. You get the course, the one-on-one time with me, an annual networking passport membership, which is a $240 value, and an email promotion of your company crafted by me and sent to the entire community, right? So this is, if you, again, are looking to be in front of people right now in a digital way, this is one of the ways to do it. So here's my bonus. Okay, here's my bonus, and I'm not done with the call yet. There's going to be some other fun goodies here, okay? But my bonus, the first 5 people on this call to sign up for $297 will receive 3 months of their networking passport membership free, which is a $60 value. And the same for the first 3 people to sign up for the $597 on this call will receive an annual passport membership, which is a $240 value, right? So I'm going to send you all the links right now really quick. I don't want to lose the chat box. So I'm going to send you the links to this because I know you're going to want to look at it as I keep talking. And we will definitely open this up for questions. Oh, sent to everyone. All right. So, so this is the certification program, okay? And the registration button is on there. It's towards the bottom. So again, you can look through it. But again, I'm going to stay on the call for quite some time because we have questions and answers, and there's a little bit more I'm going to share. But for those of you, again, that are interested, now once I'm off the call, no more bonuses. Okay, so this is only on the call where you get some of these bonuses. So that's what I put the link in the chat box. So all of you should see it, should see the link. And like I said, the membership, the registration is on the bottom. And, oh, I like this. Look in the chat window now. This is more of a cue for me because I forget my own presentations. And let's see, what else did I want to share? Oh, one of the other things I was going to share with everyone is actually, I sent out an email yesterday. I don't know who had a chance to look at it, but I was offering a 15-minute conversation to anybody that wanted to chat about this. Like, Gelly, how is this going to benefit me personally? Here's my business. You know, and I know sometimes people need to have that conversation. I am happy to have that conversation. Tell me what your business is. Tell me what you're struggling with. And let's see, because maybe this isn't the right class for you. Sometimes it's not, right? But if it is, I absolutely, oops, sorry, sent to everyone. I absolutely will, happy to chat with you. I'm sorry, some of you are sending me messages, so I'm trying to read and post and talk at the same time. But I just sent you the link to the Calendly. So if anybody wants to schedule that 15-minute call with me to talk through. And what I'm gonna do right now, let's do this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a second because I wanna see who's on the call. I want to see who is on the call. I wanted to see if any of my 8-week people are still on the call, but I don't think any of them are. I think Bob was on, but I think Bob, he just signed off. He left y'all a message. He said everyone should sign up, and then he signed off, which is all good. So no worries. But sometimes it's good to have, somebody on the call that actually has been through the class. So, but Bob was on the call. So let's do this. Let's open it up for questions. And again, I would encourage you, if you're still on, don't sign off, because usually if someone has a question, it applies to everybody. So if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer the question. It does not have to be about the 8-week. It can be about anything that I talked about, the communications, the content, the networking, the LinkedIn, question about anything. Okay, so I see a lot of communication in the chat, which is wonderful.
Question.
Rick, yes. Hi, Rick.
I typed it in there, but I just thought I'd jump in.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. How are you?
We were both just webinaring our ass off.
Yes, everyone is right now.
Is my microphone okay?
We can hear you.
Okay. Can you explain the difference between the $600 class and the $1,000 class?
Absolutely. So the main difference, so let me share my screen again very quickly. Okay, so the main difference between the $600 one and the $1,000 one is that with the $600 class, let me go to this screen, you get access to the course, the one-on-one time with me. Okay, what you get with a $1,000 class is the course, the one-on-one time with me, the annual networking passport membership, which again is a $240 value, and an email promotion of your company, crafted by me and sent to my entire community. So basically me promoting you as the entrepreneur and your business to the community.
Through Networking Phoenix.
Through Networking Phoenix. Yeah. Great question, Rick. Thank you for asking.
Is that one time, or does it get reposted, or
The email?
the promotion that you're doing in the?
It would be a one-time email. But I mean, the email is one time, but the content would be evergreen. So whatever we create, we would be able to use for future marketing purposes.
Okay, cool. And do I have control over when that happens?
I'm sorry, ask me again.
Do I have any control over when that promotion happens?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Most of my clients right now are reeling with losses through the stock market. And so real estate development has lost its ability to even happen because the asset values are the things that they base their financial statements on so that they can value. So we've seen a lot of that hesitation through that. So this is my time to circle around and just keep those relationships going, add to the connection through, fun emails and hacks and that kind of stuff, and just keep that communication going until things kind of settle out and we can,
Yeah.
even if we're under quarantine, at least if things stabilize in the stock market, they know what to do.
Yeah, no, I get it. Absolutely. It's not 4 minutes, just push 3 and then 30 seconds. Do you guys like me multitasking, telling my kid how to use the microwave?
I didn't understand what level she was supposed to use that.
She's making me laugh. Okay. But no, Rick, yeah, absolutely. You would have control over it.
Okay. You know my business. So
yeah.
You see how that integrates with what I do?
How the email promotion integrates with what you do, or how the whole course integrates with what you do?
And the email promotion.
I think the biggest, hold on a second. You're not able to get it? Okay, I'm sorry. I have to go push a button on my microwave. If everyone could just give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Good thing I wore pants this time. All right. So how would this integrate? Okay. So I think for you, Rick, one of the biggest things right now, or ever really, is you can focus on how to craft those emails, right? And it's not just the emails, because it's even going to be anything that you do on LinkedIn now or plan on doing in the future. The way you craft those emails and position yourself, what you say in the emails, that's going to be huge for you, and I don't know if you're doing that yourself or if you have somebody helping you with that. Even if in the future you end up hiring somebody to help you with the copywriting and crafting emails, you'll know what to look for,
okay.
Right? You're not just kind of at the mercy, oh, they told me they have experience, so I hope they do.
Yeah. So the one-on-one sessions are really what's important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the one-on-one sessions are just extremely valuable anyways, but again, for some people that might be restricted by, budgetary constraints. Like I said, I don't want to disvalue the $297 option, because there's a lot that can be, there's still so much value with this one as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. So again, so to bring it back to, again, just the bonuses, you guys, some of you that are not, and if you already are a Passport member, then this will get comped, right? That's the other thing to remember. I'll comp this for the current passport members. But it's got to be on this call. I will not do it after this call.
Kelly, what does that mean?
What does what mean? Which part, Patty?
The last statement that you made about comping it for networking Phoenix members who are on this call.
So what I'm saying is what the bonus that I'm offering is the first 5 people that are like on this call right now that sign up for the 297 version will receive 3 months of the networking passport membership for free.
Okay.
But it has to be done in this. I have to see the registration come through while we're on the call.
Yes, I got you now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. So once I hang up the call, then you know, no more bonus. So that's why it's, yeah, that's what that is. Okay. So I don't know. Did anyone else have any more questions on any of the other content that we talked about?
Kelly, I have a question.
Yes.
But it's about LinkedIn, because you seem to know a lot about LinkedIn. Do you have any idea if you can post your own video to LinkedIn? Can you record it live or what?
You can post the video. I don't believe, so some people have the option to do live videos and some people don't. And that's just LinkedIn rolling it out to certain people. So that's why you'll see some people doing lives from there, and then you won't have that feature. But you should be able to post short videos on LinkedIn, but I don't know how short or how long the video is allowed to be on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But yeah,
Right.
if you just go to the
sign up sheet,
to the post, it's like the little camera looking icon.
Right. Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's one other thing I'm going to share with those of you that are still on the call. So for those of you that are still on the call and you are not a Networking Passport member, I don't know why you're not a Passport member. Everyone should be a Passport member, but if you're on the call and you're not a Passport member, I am going to give you, I've never done this before, but again, we're in, crazy times call for crazy things. I'm going to let you have your first month for only $1. Okay, because I think, people should try it. Everyone, I need to send this to everyone. There we go. I just sent this in the chat box to everyone. So if you're not a Networking Passport member, you can try your first month, your first 30 days for $1. Okay, I understand some people are struggling financially, but I want to give you the opportunities because with the Zoom calls, I keep the integrity. It's only open to Networking Passport members, and so many quality connections are getting made on those Zoom calls. All right. So, but then what happens is it's $19.97 per month that it bills you afterwards, but it's month to month. You can cancel anytime. So if you want to try the first month for $1 and then cancel, you can absolutely do that. So that's the link that I sent all of you right now as well. Now, I think a lot of the people that are on the call are Passport members, and all of you, most of you got your trial for $10 a month. So, and all of you know the value of the Passport member or of the Passport membership. The Passport membership. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. I need my coffee. But that's where we are with things. So again, happy to answer any questions, happy to chat through anything. Again, I can't stress enough how important it is to have that support right now. And, you may think, I'm sorry, we're getting some background there. So I just had to put somebody on mute, but I can't stress how important it is to be doing things properly right now, because everyone is in hypersensitive mode watching, and how important it is to set yourself up so for when this is over, your pipeline is full and you come out on top. There's so much that's happening in the digital world. I know, Jack, do you have a question? I saw you raising your hand.
Yes, I have a use for your programs, but I don't know which one. And to sign up for something which might be the wrong one, how do I go over this again with you and still get the benefits of what you're offering today?
Well, let's set up the 15-minute call.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Right
Did
after
you,
the program?
what? I'm sorry.
Or
Ask me again.
anytime today.
Did you see the link that I sent in the chat box with the 15-minute to schedule a 15-minute call with me?
No.
I'll resend it right now. Okay, and this is for everyone. So I'm putting it in the chat box. There's a link that went through. It's a Calendly link to schedule a 15-minute call with me. Jack, do you see it?
I do see it. Now, what do I do? Click on it or
Yep.
what?
Absolutely. You click on it and then it'll show you my calendar and then you'll be able to schedule some time with me.
Okay. It's not there right now.
I'll make sure to email it to you as
Okay.
well. Here. Jack Terry, calendar link. Okay, so I literally emailed you the link right now as well, Jack, so that
Okay.
you can click on it and if you have challenges with it, let me know. But we'll make sure to schedule a time to chat tomorrow.
Okay. Good.
Okay, perfect. And I love seeing you on my Zoom calls. So for those people that say, oh, I don't know how to use Zoom or technology scares me, here's Jack. How many businesses have you spun up, Jack?
Over 20.
Over 20 businesses, and he's still running businesses. I love it.
This is a new one now that I have.
I love it. I can't wait to hear about it. Okay, so I'm looking forward to our chat, our chat tomorrow. And then maybe some of you missed the link that I sent again to the page about the certification program. Oh no, so Antonio's asking, when do we schedule the call? Click on that link and it'll take you to my calendar so you can schedule the call. I think there's some confusion with how to schedule.
Hey, Kelly,
Yes.
I'm trying to sign Rick up right now, but does he need to do the meeting with you first or does he just register?
No, you can register. Absolutely. Yeah. If Rick wants to register 100%, he just, you can register through the landing page where you have the link for it, right?
Yeah, where it says Gelly's networking certification. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing that right now.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Yay. Well, yep. So Rick's registering. Rick D's registering. If anybody else wants to register, like I said, now would be the time because you get the bonuses. But of course, I'll take you after the bonuses too. Okay. So going back to the calendar, because Antonio had a question. Let's see.
Jelly, I'm trying to click on that and it doesn't take me anywhere.
The link isn't taking you anywhere?
No.
Huh. Let me try it.
Kelly, I just did the link and it set it up.
It is? It's working? Okay. All right, Antonio, I may have to email it to you. I'm not sure why it's not working, but I'll make myself a note right now to send you the link. Let's see, Antonio. Okay, your email isn't popping up, but as soon as we are off the call,
okay,
I will email it to you 100%.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is anyone else having a challenge with any of the links I sent? This could be first lesson. How do we work Gelly's links? She sends too many. I'm kidding. But everyone should now have the calendar link, and that's if you want to talk to me and see if this is a fit for you and how this could be a fit for you. And remember, again, what I'm trying to stress is that this is not networking 101. I'm not teaching you basic networking. We're talking about how to connect with people. And right now, during this crisis, it's going to be through your communication. how to connect with them, where to meet them, how to set yourself up as an expert, how to keep them coming long after this crisis is over. That's a lot of what this class is going to focus on. Okay, so again, I scheduled the 15-minute call, and then I sent all of you the link to the actual page, and Sally is registering, which is wonderful. Yeah, well, we're gonna have a great group of people. We always have a great group of people. Here's the thing, I only attract great people. A true story, and I'm not saying this because I'm, you know, supernatural or whatever, but the leader of any organization always attracts similar people, you know, and so everybody that I end up working with is a heart-centered entrepreneur. And what I mean by heart-centered is that they genuinely want to help people first. Yes, of course, we're all here to make money, but these people care about other people and they genuinely want to help. That's who I tend to attract. So if you can imagine, when I put all these entrepreneurs into the room together, magic happens because everybody wants to support each other. Everybody wants to help each other. So it's a very unique environment. That's, and that's one of the networking techniques I teach is before attending an event, look at the leader. Do you jive with them? Because if you do, then you know you're going to enjoy the people that they attract. But if you don't get along with the leader, you're probably not going to get along with the people attending the event, because the leader attracts people based on their personality and who they are. Okay, so does anyone else have any other questions or comments? And I know there was a lot of conversation going in the chat, which is awesome, but I couldn't see it because I was teaching. So if anyone asked a question, and maybe I missed it, let me know. Happy to answer any more questions.
Yeah, that slide that you shared about chocolate being calorie-free during this crisis, I need to know where you got that information because I want it validated.
Right, yes. Well, I was actually asking somebody else to validate it. I was like, I heard a rumor. You know?
Okay.
Yes, but interestingly enough, if you read the post, so many people were validating it. I mean, people had proof from all over, all sorts of different sources. Yeah, it was a fun little feed. It was a fun way to engage people. Again, and just to communicate. And I will tell you, I've been getting so much feedback. I mean, I stepped up my communication game as soon as this started. And I've been getting so much feedback from people just randomly messaging or texting saying, Kelly, I've really noticed the way you're communicating and I appreciate it. And not just one, I've noticed that from a few people. So people are definitely paying attention.
You've always done an awesome job, Kelly. I mean, we go way back.
Yes, we do. We do. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. But I don't always, like, meaning, like right now, I'm very conscious of it, right? I'm very conscious of making sure that I'm consistent, that I don't forget to communicate, that I don't forget to make a post, because I know people need to see that. You know, people will like enjoy seeing my daughter riding her bike, even though when she saw the video, she's like, well, that's boring. Who wants to see a kid riding her bicycle? A lot of people would love to see that. You know, it's cute. It's cute. So
I noticed that that Mary Ann just posted something, and it says that I think the added stress burns up the calories, and I was going to say that.
Yeah,
that's very good.
That is good, Mary Ann.
I'm staying with that story.
yeah, too.
All right, Linda, thank you. So I saw that Rick has signed up. Very cool. Thank you for helping him with that. And Lori Bird actually signed up as well. So I'm sorry, I have not been looking in my inbox because I'm talking to all of you, but people have signed up. I love that. Wonderful. Okay, so I've got some bonuses to give out. So again, for anyone that's left, and I know some of you I'm seeing, but there's still quite a few people that are on that are not, that I can't, you know, they're on the call, but I can't see them. So I don't know, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions as well. It could be calorie related to chocolate, to LinkedIn, to how do you teach your 7-year-old to ride a bicycle? I've now learned how to do that.
Yeah, leave them alone and then come outside and be surprised.
Yes, yes, yes. She every reason in the book why she can't. We actually came up with, can't see it behind me. No, you can't see it. But she was saying, I can't so many times. I told her, we're going to have the I can't jar. Every time you say I can't, you're putting $1 in the jar.
Ooh.
And so we have the I can't jar. And so she stopped saying it very quickly after she owed me $2, but it was, I can't. And then poof, and off she goes. Like she's been riding a bicycle for the last few years, however long, And then I actually had a very selfish reason for wanting to teach her now, because the gyms are closed. So I need to be running, right? So I put her on her bicycle. She's riding and I'm running behind her. I'm like, yes, this worked out exactly how I intended it to. So, and she's a moving target. Yeah, she's a moving. So it's like if I slow down, she's not slowing down. That means I've got to keep up my pace. And it almost became like a HIIT exercise, because I had to sprint to catch up with her, and then slow down and sprint. So it was, I'm laughing because it was quite enjoyable. It was funny. It was a good time.
Yeah. Reverse approach to that. My son wanted to take the training wheels off his bike so badly, and we kept saying no, because he always progressed physically so ahead of his age. So he finally I just kept saying, no, we're not taking him off your bike. I don't want you riding a 2-wheel bike yet. So his answer to that was, he started riding the neighbor's bike, who was, about 12 years old, and it was a full-size bike. And so he was so awkwardly actually riding down the street when I walked outside, and I went, shit, you're not supposed to be on a bike yet. So at that point, we had to take the training wheels off.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Here's another Gelly bonus. We have two foster dogs, and so this is one of them. This is Danny. But he has not had that name for very long. He was a rescued street dog. And so he is up for adoption. He's very cute. He is full grown, but he's only about 5 pounds. So he's a teacup.
He's a teacup Pomeranian.
And he's very big when he's close, but he's really only about this big.
I think you should offer him as a bonus, Kelly.
So that's a bonus, Kelly, for Gelly.
For who? Bonus. And here's your bonus. You get to take care of a dog.
I'll do your class if I get a dog.
That's funny. I would be afraid. I've never had a dog. Well, I had a dog when I was younger. It was like a family dog, but I've never actually taken care of a dog by myself. I've taken care of a child. I don't know if that counts. This one.
It counts, and it's probably enough.
Yeah, it is. It is enough. It's tough. It's tough, and I'm not bored and I'm not lonely. Like there's so much coming at me. Like if I did get a dog, I mean, this would be a very neglected pet. Because like I just don't have the time to, I mean, that's go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Marianne Hall. Linda and I are big fans of your husband and have been listening to him since she moved to Arizona 11 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And
I hear that. Hopefully there'll be some live music someday again soon.
You may have to do a couple concerts there you're in Prescott, right?
Well, actually we're back in Phoenix in Carefree.
Oh, you're in Carefree. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
some stuff's going to be coming online, so
perfect.
Yeah.
And Gelly, that dog will never be neglected. You know who to bring over to help you with that dog.
That's true. Well, the dog would probably have to live at your house Can I buy a dog and leave it at your house, Patty?
Yeah, right. That'll help. That'll work.
I saw some funny meme on the internet the other day. It was something like, I'm totally going to butcher it, but it was hilarious. It was something like, something about like, hey, grandparents, your grandkids are something like, come get your grandkids. It was basically something like the parents are spending too much time with their kids. The grandparents, come get your grandkids. I'm totally butchering it, but the way it was so funny. It was like, why am I spending so much time with my own kid? Like, we're the grandparents. I don't know. I thought it was funny, but that just, what we just said reminded me of the dog where, you know, it's like, I could not take care of a dog right now. Perhaps when I retire to my island, then I'll be able to have a few dogs and fish and horses and whatever else. So we'll see.
And Rick, your pup is adorable.
Rick, you're on mute right now.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Your pup is adorable.
Oh yeah, he is. He's pretty cute. He thinks he's much bigger and stronger and more dominating than he really is. But he's really a foster. But he's a foster dog, so we won't have him forever, and he'll be actually an easy adopt.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I love the interaction, and I thank you all for being here. And I'm excited to continue working with all of you in some capacity. Again, so many familiar faces. I know we had some new ones on, but I think a lot of people have dropped off at this point. So appreciate you being here. You all know how to get a hold of me. Looks like we had, again, some people scheduled time with me. So I'll be talking with some of you tomorrow. And you know, I'm here if you all need anything. Thank you for being here.
Are you going to send out, oops.
Oh, no, Rick, you just muted yourself by accident.
Okay. Are you going to send out invites to the classes?
For starting next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. There will be a whole process. So you'll hear from me.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay.
Right.
But thank you, Rick. I'm excited to keep working with you. And, you know, Rick is also in my private mastermind group. So we're going to get to spend a lot of FaceTime together. Love that. This kind of FaceTime. And, you know, Marianne, I know you hop on my Zoom calls. Patty, I've seen you there. Laura, would love to see more of you. And again, I thank you all for being here, and we'll all talk again very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so
All right.
much, Kelly.
Of
Stay
course.
healthy, everybody.
Thanks. Yes, you too. Bye, everyone.